All right, I just got word that we are ready to go. So let's hand it over to Stump and the Couch for some Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back.
Press start to begin.
My name's Stump, and I got Personal Capture. And, let's see. Let's start Crash to 80% of go. Timing starts when gaining control, so I'll count down the bet. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start. So here we're in the first level, Turtle Woods, and I'll mainly be doing this slide spin chaining movement, neutral slide spinning through the standard platforming levels. What this is doing is letting me keep the extra speed from the slide through a spin after it, allowing the slide cooldown to expire, letting me continue at that speed despite that. And what I need to do is get that crystal out of each level. Now I have 2 masks out of this level, and that would be a third one, but in Crash 2 you generally don't want that because the neutral slide spin doesn't go as fast when you are in that form. There is one place we'll use that though later in the run. And we got a side section here. Getting up that ledge there, I spun right after doing a slide jump, and that caused it to go a little bit higher. That's the glitch high jump.
Hey Stump, do you mind if we interrupt for a quick announcement?
Sure.
So we have a very exciting incentive here at Calithon. If we reach $8,000 by the end of, not this run, but the next run, which is only about 2 hours away, we will have the world premiere of a brand new Symphony of the Night category by the one, the only Rom Scout, known for blindfolded soda runs and other such goodies. And let me tell you, what we have today is going to be something unseen and very exciting. So hopefully you all can get your donations in. It's a limited time offer, and hopefully you all enjoy Crash Bandicoot.
What I did back there was, since I got a third mask when I didn't really want one, it turns out that crawling is actually one of the the fastest way to move in that form. So that's what I did until I got to the board there. And we'll go around that timer gem, because that only really serves to waste time in the warp room in this category.
We got time for a quick donation?
Sure.
We have a $5 donation from Tet, who says, "Good luck with the run, Stump."
Thanks.
It's another $5 towards that $8,000 goal.
With these birds here, I'm trying to jump over them and spin as I land behind them to get boosted forward a little bit. With their nest form again. I completely cleared that bird. But there'll be more where you can see that going on. Also, the reason I take the left path here is that it's the one with the crystal on it. And this last level of this warp room is somewhat different, where we'll actually be moving towards the screen with boulders chasing us. So that comes down to knowing where the pits are. And where the electric barriers are. Now, in those sections in between, if you break your slide spin, there's an animation that Crash does of tumbling away from where the boulder is. And that wastes a little bit of time if that happens, so hopefully we won't be seeing that. Every 5 levels there's a boss, so this one is Rip-A-Roo. Exactly the same thing happens every time in this fight. It's pretty much an auto-scroller, so this would be a good time for donations.
No donation since, but I would like to remind everybody that we do have a number of donation incentives. One that I am very much looking forward to will be tomorrow morning with our Kingdom Hearts run. We have 5 potential songs that can be sung, and we will be singing 3 of them. I am personally looking forward to the duet between Violin Gamer and Zem92 of You Got a Friend in Me. That is currently in 2nd place with $5, and in 1st place is Go the Distance from Hercules, which will be sung by Zem92. And he does a phenomenal job with that, so that's very much something to look forward to. It's going to be a definite highlight of tomorrow morning.
Here we got another snow level, but this one has a lot more ice in it, particularly in the side-scrolling section that's coming up. So that will result in much higher speeds in some sections. Also, normally if you walk towards one of those porcupines, they get their spikes out and become damaging before you get there. But neutral slide spinning gets you there before that. And so you can treat them like they're not there.
We got time for a quick donation? We have a $5 donation from Dilwingo, who says, Crash 2 equals best speed game. Good luck with the run, Stump.
Thanks. There's a nest box coming up, which is why I used up the nest to go through those rather than around them. I like to call that nitro there the any percent nitro because this is the only category where you see it. In 100% it's already blown up due to the alternate entrance to the level. This level is one of the bear levels, where the bear continuously moves forward and sort of an auto-scrollerish type thing. It certainly really creates issues in 100% though, because you can't go back for missed boxes. Like those three. Here we'll have another boulder level with a few added features. Not until after this boulder, but there will be electric gates. But the ones in this level are far enough off the ground that you can neutral slide spin under them and you'll get through whatever phase of that you're on.
Just as a reminder to anybody donating, please put your money towards our various incentives and bid wars, because we have a lot of exciting stuff that we would love to be able to show off, and we can only do that with your donations.
always like how the last part of this has enough of those speed pads that you get far enough ahead of the boulder that you can't even see it at the end. Here we have a new type of level, or a sewer level. And some of these pools of water have electric eels in them that periodically electrify the water, so that's a case of being in it at those times. Due to the long animation of taking damage that would happen if I were to get hit there, that's why I hit that nitro, because I can keep right on moving after that. I could use that mask up there because we have a boss fight now. And this is the Komodo brothers. Our one will bounce around, hit him into the other one, and avoid the knives.
As another reminder, we have a bid war for our Slam Jam remix in Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. Currently, Hoops and Dreams and Battle for Everyone's Slams from Undertale and Persona 3, respectively, are tied for the lead with $10 each. And One Winged Slam from FF7 is at 0, so if you want to see any of those, make sure you get your donations in, because that run will be starting in about 10 hours. Always good to get in donation incentives early.
Definitely. Be a little extra careful there since I didn't bring a mask out of the boss fight. But this is plant food, and it has another one of those timer gems at the end that I'll also be going around. Since I have a mask here, I can avoid going forward on the platforms to pre-kill those two flowers and take the hit instead. Some of the added things in the sewer level are those lab assistants with blowtorches. They hit very widely when the torch is out. Also, there's fast-moving fans that you're intended to need to spin 3 enemies into them. But with the right positioning, you can skip that. And I'm going to use these 2 masks to skip these 2 enemies.
I'd like to remind everybody watching that we do have an incentive where if we raise $8,000 by the end of our next run, we will see a brand new category of Castlevania. That will be really awesome. We're only about a little over $1,600 to go for that. I know that if everybody in chat were to donate $1 right now, we would easily crush that goal.
That was, well, in some sense, not the last bear level, but the only one, last one where that's what all of the level is. And those platforms at the end are an entrance to the secret warp room, which does not matter in this category, but is likely how a casual player would initially find the secret warp room. This next level sort of combines 2 level types into one. There you have the boulder chase sections, but what's chasing you is actually large bears. And the electric gates here are actually positioned a little bit lower than they are in Crash Crush. So you have to be on the slide part of the movement to make it under there. other than that, this is like the boulder levels and knowing where the obstacles are. And then on the last one, also have a bear.
I gotta say, there's something strangely meta about this.
There certainly is. And with that being another 5 crystals, there's another boss fight. And this is tiny. This is pretty much the only place where there's RNG in this game. And that is in what platforms fall.
In the meantime, we have a $10 anonymous donation. Thank you very much. With no
Thanks.
comment.
Oh, that third phase worked out more nicely than I was expecting it to. Only one extra tiny move happened throughout the entire fight. This warp room, I'm going to do out of order. And the reason is that I want to take 2 masks into hanging out. Because that is the one level that has an actually useful third mask form. And this level has 2 mask boxes in it. So as long as I don't get hit, this will nicely set me up for that.
This goes to show that Deku Babas were not limited to Legend of Zelda games.
Here we begin to see the beehives. Oh, alright. I'll have to do another level before hanging out to get back up to the second mask then. About the right alignment, the glitch high jump does let you get over those while they're electrified. Also, the explosions of the fruit don't hurt you if you're spinning. So that's why I was often spinning when landing near one of them.
In the meantime, we have a $15 donation from Hafke, who leaves no comment. Thank you very much.
Thanks. This level that I'm going into to try to bring another mask out is Ruination, another ruin level. A lot of jumping over small platforms, like in Road to Ruin. But one of the features of this, like you saw right at the beginning, is the same box formations, but with nitros in place of non-nitros. I am bettered. I need to restart the level. Sometimes when you land at a particular combination of positioning and speed, that can happen, especially in the ruin levels. Although I should also mention, since I don't think I did yet, that I'm using the PAL version of the game. And this happens more on that one than on other versions, due to each frame involving more movement. But the reason I'm using that version is person skips in levels in the last warp room, as well as a slightly higher jump in general. That lets me do some things that... Oh, that's a third mask. I wouldn't be able to do in just a single jump in other versions. There's our second mask. So that means we can do hanging out. Alright, well, we won't be able to do the third mask from part now, but I was trying to keep those masks to the end of this hanging grid section. Because Crash goes a lot faster across that when you're in third mask form. And since that form is invincibility, then I wouldn't have had to worry about the movement cycles of these things. Although they lined up pretty well anyway. This is called Hard Crash, another snow level. This is one of the longest ones in the game and has the most boxes of any level. As sort of a There's a death route. Which has boxes on it, which is one of the reasons this level is infamous in casual 100%. But we're gonna go through that death route anyway because it's faster than the part of the level that it skips. And I'll go over that gem at the end of it because that would only waste time in the Rip-A-Roo, like the timer gems in the water levels. This is behaving the other B level, except here the beehives are larger, the bees are angrier, there are more of them, they move faster, but neutral slide spinning is still enough to outrun them. There was an example of spinning while landing on one of the exploding fruit to not get hit by it. Since I got another boss fight coming up, I don't need this mask. I'll not deal with the nitros. So we get to the second to last boss, Engine. There are 3 phases of this fight where I need to hit the targets with enough thrown fruit. In this case, 10 to each hand to move on to the next phase. And I want to try and kill both of them at the same time. 1 4, each of the shoulders takes 5. Alright, double shoulders, but it took an extra round to do it. If I only got 1 for either the hands or the shoulders, then the other one would have gotten a few extra hits, and it would have, and the attacks would have been a different pattern.
Master Cortex will be very displeased with your resistance. Prepare to suffer his wrath!
So only 5 levels remain. This includes actually 2 new types of levels. And this is one of them. The piston levels are all about cycles.
And just as a reminder to those who have recently tuned in, if we can reach $8,000 in total by the end of the next run, then we are going to see Rum Scout perform a never-before-seen category of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. We probably have less than an hour and a half to reach that, based on our estimates. So let's get that in. We just have a little less than $1,600 to go. Let's make it happen.
I want to see this happen. Definitely make sure you get your donations in for that. Here's a new type of level, the jetpack level. Percent this is pretty much a case of going forward and get to the end without hitting anything. And here, by continuing to push forward after the first hit to one of these, I can get through it without having to do the second hit to... Oh, that's sort of important. To get him into the plasma field that's there. This is PAL specific. It's not the only reason that PAL's fastest for this game, but it is the most visible of them. And this is Night Fight, which is sort of like the Woods levels, but in the dark. So I need these fireflies to see. And the duration that they last is timed so that a casual player moving without stopping will have it last exactly to the next one. So since we're moving faster than intended, you can see an overlap of how long each of them last. Now we have another jetpack level, which plays rather similarly to the first one. For the win. Now those wires float up and down somewhat randomly, and they can cause slight problems if they're not in the right position. And YOLO mode. One more level. And this one is definitely one of the tougher ones. This is the other piston level, spaced out. Tried to 3D jump around that, but didn't quite have the input there. I was a tiny bit too late on that, but here we're, well, in this behind glass section, and those shield enemies are pretty tall. Oh. Oh, they're tall enough to bounce off of and actually get on top of the glass and skip the rest of the nitros behind it, but only if you remember to press down to get to actually get onto the glass. Those screams are the best. Oh, that's 25 crystals, so only Cortex remains. This is a jetpack level. You deliver 3 hits and Cortex is finished, which will be time, and I'd probably say this is one of the more anticlimactic boss fights in the Crash series, due to how straightforward this is. Alright, the next hit is time. And time.
You haven't seen a life of me, Crash Bandicoot!
Well, that's Crash 2, 20% no game over abuse.
Crash, what do you suppose happened to Cortex? And what about the Cortex Vortex? It's still up there.